Welcome to Old Guys Still Rock. Super grateful you gave us a look or a listen. We specifically developed this podcast for friends or soon to be friends who are in the 40 plus category. This podcast is a platform to not only have your voices be heard, but also for others who are going through the same thing and know that they too aren't alone. Our topics may be business, topics may be entrepreneurship, our topics may be social, or our topics may be just everyday life. Whatever it is, we hope that you give it a share and leave us a comment. But most of all, if you want your voice to be heard, please leave us a comment on how to get a hold of you so you too can be an old guy that still rocks and help build our community. Until we speak again, stay safe, but most of all, God bless. All right. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back. We are Old Guys Still Rock. I am Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Bankers. You see right behind me, I am a global luxury specialist realtor in the beautiful area of Coachella Valley, which is basically from Palm Springs out to Indio, Palm Desert, La Quinta, Rancho Mirage, everything else in between. And on my right, maybe your left, is my good friend for almost 30 years, Brent Wright of Brent Wright Incorporated. A man of many different businesses, from wellness centers to property management to payroll companies, you name it, body shops. This guy has his finger in everything. It didn't happen overnight. It's been a slow build, but it's been a good build. So it's a good foundation.
You mean success doesn't happen overnight?
No, man.
There's no get rich quick. Are you serious?
I thought you opened up a box of Lucky Charms and pulled out the prize, and you're instantaneous a millionaire.
The secret decoder wheel off a Christmas Story, right? So
someone was just talking about like the old school cereals. Yes, we got toys, but remember, I don't know if you remember this, but the cereal box that you actually cut out the back and it was a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
God. That was awesome, man. There's just cool things that people are talking about, old school candies and, Zots and the little wax candies on pieces of paper, so on and so forth. So
the wax lips, I hated those things.
Oh,
Ooh.
God. You had them and you chewed them. It was good for the juice, but then that thing was just disgusting afterwards.
Yeah. I don't even, and on top of it had saccharin in it, red dye number 40, all the good stuff, right?
Yeah. That's why we're going to live to like 150, because we ate all those things before we knew it was bad for us. So.
Drank out of the green hose. We didn't have white hoses. Like, what the hell? Can't drink out of the green hose anymore?
No, that's racist.
That's why we get a gray hose, right? Because it's neutral.
Green lives matter. Green hoses matter. We gotta have. It's coming, man. I'm telling you.
You had to go there.
I'm a little fired up.
A little feisty today.
Little feisty. I was almost grabbed a First Form energy drink today, and I'm like, no, I'm a little too jacked.
I did one yesterday.
Man, those got a kick to them. You got to be careful. If you have that on an empty stomach, my stomach doesn't do that. So what do we got here? Check this out.
Yeah. Little hoodie action.
I love this, man.
Yeah.
So great. It's coming, guys. We're a little bit slow in production, but we're going to get these out to you. And for all of our guests that have been out here, for the people who contribute in comments, subscribers, we'll have multiple contests to get this out there so you can help support the show, because people are going to go, what is OGSR?
Yeah.
And they're going to have a fun time explaining that. So be ready.
Well, and the hats are going to be super cool, white leather patches. Mm-hmm. So the company that we engaged with to do these white leather patched hats, it was one of their new products. And when we ordered them, they're like, yeah, we can do them. And I don't think they were up to speed on production. And so we're just supposed to be getting a tracking number either today or tomorrow. And they'll likely be delivered next week when I'm traveling. So when I get back, we'll get them. We'll get them on the show, and then we'll start getting them out to folks and see how that plays out. But I can't wait to sport the gear. So
yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Christmas in July, right?
That's right.
So Matt, how are you doing beside that? Everything good?
Yeah. on our topic that we were talking about pre-show, sorry, I had a little wispy thing coming down there.
Okay.
The I'm just really struggling with people over the last couple of weeks. A lot of interactions with people just trying to hit the easy button. Life's hard. I'm just trying to do the least amount possible. Talked to somebody the other day and I said, me and my wife, we did 75 hard twice right in a row, with nominal days off in the middle. You did the Live Hard program, which was a year, right? And so big change. And they said, yeah, I just didn't notice a difference on 75 hard. And so I think next time I'm going to try 75 soft. It took everything I had to just bite my lip, right? Because, it's just a struggle. I mean, like, the reason why you didn't notice any change on 75 hard is because you didn't do anything to make a change.
Yeah, you didn't do it.
You didn't create the action so that way the change could then be created. And then 75 soft, seriously? Like, on that, I mean, why do anything if you're just going to do it halfway?
Right.
I don't know.
They miss the concept of the whole premise of it. I think they just look at it as so many people go in there, okay, I have to work out twice a day. I have to eat this diet. It's not really about the diet. It's getting things accomplished. I mean, gosh darn, I was just sitting here, here we are a couple of years later. I got the power list.
Yeah.
Our team has a power list. We're going through that. We check in with each other every day. And there's some accountability factor for all of us doing the power list is this. Here's, we take a picture of the page every day. This is what we do. And there's sometimes I've called out and like, okay, how is taking your dog for a walk, how is that changing your life?
It's not moving the needle in any way.
It's not moving the needle. So I understand what you're doing. It's something that you have to do. That's just a daily task. This is a power list. So there's corrections in there. It's new to them. So it's a little bit different. They haven't gone through 75 hard, but so this is the premise of it. But yeah, if you do 75 hard the right way, life will become irritating.
Yeah.
And it just will. People won't understand why you get frustrated. People won't understand why your fuse gets a little shorter is because you're constantly striving to become better, trying to get yourself out of this place that you don't no longer like to be, portion of yourself. So,
and nobody around you is doing that while you're doing it.
No.
So like I was talking with Nick and Rachel, they're longtime listeners. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for sharing the show, Nick. Yeah, similar process. He's like, man, I go to work and these guys are just grinding the clock and I don't want to grind the clock. I want to do things. I want to make a difference. I want to move the needle. I want to be productive. And he's just like, I'm naturally irritable anyways. I am as well, Nick. So it's not just you. And then add the caveat that everybody around you is trying to do the minimum standard and you're trying to do the maximum standard during 75 hard. And it just, kind of plays into what you were talking about pre-show. With some of the things that are happening around the country that are equally frustrating because the powers that be are setting us up so we can push the easy button. You talked about it in regards to, some new homeless housing that's coming out and they're making it super easy, super simple, tax rebates, blah, 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 all the things, but yet not really solving the problem.
Yeah, there's a couple things on that. So everyone will see this and I'm not going to, certain states, and it's going more than just certain states have the same issue, but you're building a multi-unit complex that's costing $600,000 per unit, and it's being taken out of the homeless fund, and it's taking, and then there's going to be tax credits, that's come from the state. So realistically, at the end of the day, it's it's 1.7 million, almost right around $1.6 million. I don't even think I have that right. I have to look at this again.
Per complex?
For 278 complexes times 600,000. So is that $1 billion?
Yeah.
Okay. So almost $1.7 billion. Is that right? Am I right on that?
Hang on.
Yeah, look that up. It's got to be more than 278 times 6. It's got to be
$166 million. $167 million. That's what it is. Not billion. Million.
Thank you. 167 million. Still, it's a lot of money. I missed a decimal point.
Here's really where I'm going to ask the question. You're a realtor.
Yeah.
How much would it take to build those units if a regular contractor was building them?
It's half that cost.
350, 375.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not that much. I mean, when there's plenty of low income housing and stuff like that. So there's a couple of things that bother me about it. First of all, do we have a homeless issue? Yes. We keep spending more and more money to pay these people to take care of the situation, and nothing's getting done. It's pretty much in every city. Okay. You see homeless camps and stuff like this. When you start seeing matching tents going down the row, it's a situation. Those guys are not going into a Fred Meyer or a Walmart and all buying like, hey, let's go buy tents together today. It's not happening. So
they might because they get $1,600 a month in our state.
Yeah, but come on.
To be homeless, you get paid $1,600 a month in Oregon.
Yeah, and that's the way with everything. So you're constantly not the homeless board, whatever you want to call them, to take care of that situation, are not supposed to be enabling the situation. They're supposed to help people get back on their feet. And this goes back to what you said. This is what's frustrating to me is, so we're working super hard. We have to constantly, if we don't pay our taxes, we got to knock on the door and someone comes in and say, listen, we're going to freeze your account until you pay it. In the meantime, the guys that are supposed to be helping these people get off the street aren't doing anything. Because if they were doing something, then there would be work programs, so on and so forth, to get these people on there. The list goes on and on and on. And this is not political. This is something just to be observant of, because we all talk about it. Can't believe I can't walk down the streets of LA. Can't believe I can't walk down the streets of Portland. I can't believe I can't walk down the streets of Seattle, whatever major city, New York, Chicago, whatever that is. Point of it is we keep talking about, I can't believe this makes me so hard, but no one's doing anything. We keep voting the same people in there. So yeah, a little political, but I always will go back to, as a politician or a state person or a state seat, is an employee. And if your employee is not performing the way that they should be performing, the way that you're paying them, remember, you are paying them with you're their payroll. If they're not performing, then you have to find a better employee. That's it. Same thing with me. If I don't make it into real estate, I don't get paid, and somebody else will replace me. Someone will become better, bigger, stronger. If Brent doesn't go ahead and become a better person in the body shop world, someone will go outside their way and find a better body shop. So the point is, but the biggest thing that is to me, there is a company or companies that have lost, in my eyes, a moralistic compass in business. For the reason is, you're taking advantage of these massive tax dollars to build something at a cost that is far exceeding what it really should be, and not worrying about who has to pay for it. So it's not just the state senate or the city congress or whatever to that. You have to look at who is the person that's building these things, and where is their moral compass to society, that you're going to take advantage of a taxpayer that is barely making it because of all the other taxes in there, and say, you know what, should have been them. I'm gonna get mine before I get anybody else. That is not doing anybody any favors. And at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. So if you're the person that's building this and you're watching this episode, shame on you, dude. That's just my feeling. It's very frustrating when people are struggling to eat and do some different things, and there's people like this in the world taking advantage of certain people just so they can better themselves. And you're not helping. You're enabling the situation, because no one they're just going to go in there and keep doing the same thing you are to. So get them off the street, but they're going to go do the same thing behind closed doors. Then what do you have? A rotten building that we paid $167 million for. So sorry, not sorry.
Two things. Probably will take a tangent and a right turn here. But first off, this is episode 55, double nickels.
Yeah.
So my buddy Blair is 55, episode 55. Some pretty much universal alignment. Pretty stoked about that. So pretty happy to be doing 55 with you.
55 episodes for sure, brother. It's been awesome.
Yeah, so super cool. Secondly, we talked a couple episodes ago about our message trying to bring to light situations, discuss them in a way that is non-divisive. So when you hear Blair getting on his soapbox, it's okay. He gets on it, he gets off of it, not a big deal. But just understand that really a lot of this comes from our frustration with people just hitting the easy button. And in this situation, it is a not just one person, but a cascading effect of multiple people and multiple situations hitting the easy button, trying to solve a problem by ignoring the problem, or trying to solve a problem by throwing money at a problem, or trying to solve a problem by talking about it instead of action, right? And so that's really the message that we're trying to convey here is just stop hitting the damn easy button, man. Just stop. And it's not going to get anywhere. It's not going to get any better if you continue to look for the easy way out. On one of my coaching calls with Ed Milet yesterday, he said, a great person almost never has 2 good days in a row. The more you build, the less good days in a row that you will have. Because you're trying to push and move. And that back to our 75 hard conversation. I don't know about you, but there weren't a lot of good days in a row during 75 hard. Right?
No.
I get people that ask me all the time, and I've talked about it on this podcast before. So do you get used to getting in the cold plunge? Nope. Been almost 3 years. Still sucks every morning. Right. And so some of the things that we talk about here, guys, may not be comfortable conversations. They may not be comfortable subjects. But again, we're really trying to move the agenda of making a difference forward every time we talk about this.
Right.
So if you have an opinion about this, hop on, make some comments.
Yeah.
We welcome the comments. We even welcome, I wouldn't say negative comments, but we welcome the conversation and the interaction, even if it is lightly heated or you're opinionated. We want to hear those things. I'm struggling to understand, like I said lately, why everybody just keeps trying to push the easy button and keeps trying to ignore the fact that we have political problems, cultural problems, moral problems, integrity problems, and start really trying to do their part to make those go away. Will we get there? Probably not. But if everybody gives up and rolls over, what do we have?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think that, it's kind of a double-edged sword you just said there. We can go ahead and sit there and talk about it and hit the easy button, or we can go ahead and step up and take advantage of it. Will we ever get there? I don't know. Well, one thing that I'm going to tell you that I think that is very possible, because it happened thousands of years ago. If you ever get a chance to Google King Solomon's palace, the temple that he built, regardless of what you feel about religion, Google it the way that it, because they give all the measurements. It's in the book of how it is and how everything is in there. So Pick this picture. This is what it would look. This is what it would look like. It's actually still in existence. It's buried below. But it is a great picture of people to stop bitching and start working together, because what was built and how it was built is a mind-blowing feat in that time with a lack of technology.
Well, they didn't have excavators.
They didn't have excavators, and they didn't have laser cutters, and they didn't do this stuff. And to see this fortress and to see this temple, it is mind-blowing. But it also sit there as like, if they can do it, why can't we?
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to that question: is it, if not me, then who? Right.
Or
if
and who's holding you back? Nobody but you.
So we have this unlimited talent, but what Brent started out with, I guess, is in that process was over multiple years. It wasn't easy. I'm sure there was massive downfalls to that, and breaks and rocks breaking and people dying and all these different things to get that stuff that was never depicted in there. The point is they all continue to work together as one unit. And it is a point in time in history that there was actually zero war, and all people came together to work to get this done. Mm-hmm. So, and I put that in today is like, gosh, it's like we always talk about, all we need is love. And if we could just come together and and we press this really cool little meme and we put it on Facebook and we're like, God, I feel so good about this. And no one's doing anything about it. Now, Brett and I do anything? No, we're talking about what you guys we talk about with our friends and family, people that we know, like, and trust, or people that we may have differences with it. But when do we come together and start buying into this? Well, I believe in this social issue, so that's what I'm going to support. And if you don't support that, I'm going to be mad to it. And we have to do this, and we have to do this. We're continually fighting about social issues that realistically we all want the same thing. We all want someone to have a home. We all want someone to eat. We all want someone to have a great life. We all want someone to have a job. Now, there's been homeless issues for forever. From the beginning of time, there's been someone that has not had a home, has been poor. But they had a life, and there was contribution to that. Instead of, well, sorry for them, it sucks to be them or whatever. So going back to, we're going to complain about this $167 million building, wherever state that's going to be built in, and in 2 weeks we're going to be done with it and just not even care. And so going back to what you said is, we continue to hit the easy button. It's an easy button. It's an easy button. Out of sight, out of mind, easy button. Easy button.
Not my problem.
Not my problem. God, I can't believe I have to pay all these taxes. Not my problem. Gosh darn it, I can't understand why this is happening. Not my problem. I got to go live in my house.
Yeah.
We have to.
Not on my street.
Not in my street.
Not in my neighborhood.
It's where, and I'll be the first one to say it is, when it infiltrates an area like that I live in, and I live in a land of unfathomable money because we're typically a second home community. Now there's other working class in here as too. It is interesting to see when I first moved here in 99 to where it is now, and the homeless issue that is here now. And a couple people sit on the board and just kind of like, okay, that's cool. We have some low income housing. That's awesome. Okay, you guys are doing a really good job. Blah, 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 blah. And be done. I guess at the end of the day, I'm sitting here telling people to go do something about it. And maybe it's my time to go step up and figure out what to do. So you guys have a great idea of how we can actually make this work and put together programs, which I know there's a lot of out there. Maybe fund the programs that are actually doing some great things to try to get people off the streets and clean them up and put them in jobs. There's a couple places out there. There's probably some places out in Eugene. So
Eugene has done an amazing job at building infrastructure to support the homeless population. So good that other cities and other states actually bus people here and fly them into here to allow them to be homeless. Here's the question that I want to pose, and I don't have the answer to it. So I really want to put this out to our group. Anybody listening, if you have a solution, man, I just love to hear it. If you have an answer, I'd just love to hear it. What do you do if these people don't want to be anything but homeless? You can't make somebody be something that they don't want to be or do.
Mm-hmm.
If you have all these programs and they still choose to be homeless, you have all these drug and alcohol programs and they still choose to do drugs and alcohol. Do you really have a homeless problem? Do you really have a drug and alcohol problem? Or do you have a mental issue that you need to address? I don't know the answer. I was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I made choices that put me in the situation of being homeless. I then decided that I was going to make different choices, better choices, to become not homeless. I had to make the choice. No program helped me make that choice. No amount of money that anybody gave me. By the way, there were not programs when I was homeless, and nobody gave me any money.
No, you didn't go to your mailbox and collect $1,600 just for pass and go?
No, not at all. And so I had to pick myself up by my bootstraps and make a choice to make a damn difference in my life and other people's during that time. Nobody did that for me. What do you do if people are not ready, willing, and able to make that choice? Is that a problem that is up to us to solve at that point? Just throwing it out
question.
there. I think that's the question that nobody's willing to go down that road.
It gets in my head. It gets back to a spot where I don't want to be that guy that says something, or I don't want to be that girl that says something that's going to really ruffle the feathers. We're so worried about ruffling people's feathers. We're part of the enabling problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a solution. It wouldn't be a fun solution, but you keep allowing things to happen, and they're not good for a society. You have to pay the consequences, and everyone pays the consequences. You know, we're talking about a homeless situation, and you know, you have a good city. I live in a sanctuary state. These guys, it's possible they could have made a bad decision and got hooked on drugs and alcohol, but there's a lot of houses here that I don't see the people that live on the street came from those houses.
Right.
Right. We keep allowing things to happen and talk about it, do some different things and not hold people accountable. I'm going to go back to the people that are in charge of dispersing the places that's supposed to be doing. You keep allowing those people to be that are quote unquote a minority, but they're in a leadership position to continue running what they're running, and it's not working. It's bad. So we've been obviously talking about a homeless situation. We just had a tragic incident, and there are more and more popping up too because of the border situation. You know, you're holding people. You want to hold somebody accountable, then you better start looking at the employees that you hired.
Yeah.
And you're going to hold them accountable. I think that's how you fix a problem. You actually put somebody in there. And so maybe it is a little political at the end of the day, but that's a society that we lived in. We were given a choice to have one person lead, or for one being to lead us, or to have a king. We chose to have a king. We chose to have a cabinet. We chose to do all this other stuff. We chose to have a president. We chose to have all these senators and congressmen. We chose that. So we get to live with the consequences. So instead of enabling those people to continue to run the programs that they say are good for society, and you can look out on your street and it is not good for society, that's how you're going to make some changes. I think
so let's go back in history a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
A couple, 200 or 300 years. In England, they decided that all people that were nefarious, that had been arrested for thievery, that had been persecuted for being homeless, had been, made bad choices, pick something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some nefarious activity, or just nefarious by association of a particular scenario. So what did they do with them? They found a lightly inhabited continent and moved them all there and gave them basic utensils for survival and told them to kick rocks. And then continue to drop boatloads of them off as things happened. Now, I'm not saying this is a solution. I'm just saying that's how Australia was formed and New Zealand were formed. Those were jail islands. I don't want it in my neighborhood, so I'm moving the neighborhood away from me. Okay? And again, I'm not saying that's a solution. I'm just saying, like, we've ignored the core problem for hundreds of years. The core problem is these people make choices and continue to make choices because those are the choices they want to make. When do we hold those people accountable to those choices? Is jail the right answer? Probably not, but I don't know. It's not my choice. I'm not the one making the rules. I'm just playing the game. And what you're saying is that thought process of me just saying that I'm not making the rules, I'm just playing the game, is flawed. And I should figure out a way to help change the rules so the game's different.
Or get a group of people to help you change the rules, right? It's just not really, the rules are already in place, dude.
I know.
The rules are in place. It's just, are you going to follow the rules, or are you going to keep finding gray areas to it? And I guess that's what I'm saying is, until someone stands up and holds somebody accountable, and again, it's a minority that has to be held accountable. It's not everybody in society.
Mm-hmm.
We're enabling this situation for not holding people accountable. So yes, it's at the end of the day is we have to look at ourselves in the mirror as well. It's up to me because I did this, and this. And I think some of us don't want to hold people accountable because maybe it is hard from where we came from. It's very hard to throw rocks when you live in a glass house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All of us have some skeletons. Some of us have big suitcases. Some of them have large skeletons in them. But it doesn't matter. Truckloads, right? We all come from that, and we've worked to become better. So, sitting here talking about it is like, listen, there could be work programs that say, okay, listen, we will supply housing for you
if you do X.
If you do X, here's a job. You don't have to pay people People say they need $16 an hour, or $20 an hour, or $25 an hour minimum wage because that's the way it is. Taxes are stupid, dude. If we paid a flat 10% tax, you could pay everybody back $5.50, per hour, and work for bonuses and so forth, and we would be we would look like Dubai. Anyway, so glorifying.
That's a whole nother podcast.
It's a whole nother podcast, right? But the point of it is there's, instead of just go ahead and hand out free checks because, that's the easy button, mm-hmm. Start working together, find somebody, your neighbor, find a couple of other guys, maybe 5, 10 people, guys, women, like, hey, this is what we want to do. How can we come up with this? Present that out to it, maybe build a program, start a nonprofit and say, listen, we'll go ahead and take in these homeless people. But the only way that we get funded is if they get a job, and then there's ways to do it. My brain capacity and to try to peel back the onion in this next 5 minutes is literally impossible. So if you're one of those people that has a solution to, hey, this is how I'm thinking it can make better, because there's already places out there that exist, but how are you helping them? How are you funding that situation? How are you taking how are you taking those homeless shelters that are contributing to society, to holding people accountable? If you do drugs or you do alcohol, you can't be in this program. But if you do this, we will help you not only get housing and clothes, but a job and get you back into society. How are you contributing to that? Because they're out there. Or start your own if you don't have one in your state or city. So we all come back to, it's instead of just like, hey, I'll throw money at it and then somebody else will do it. That's not fixing the problem, and that shouldn't make you feel good, because you definitely drive around no matter what state in America and see situation from homelessness to migrant problems wherever you party you are. But it's time to pay attention. It's time to come together. Stop looking at both sides of the aisle, Republican, Independent, Democrat, whatever it is, and really work together and find solutions. Because if the people in King Solomon's day can go ahead and build a fortress that they can do it, we can definitely turn this around and create a lifestyle not only for people that may not have as fortunate in income as you or I, or people better than me, but everyone could have a really good life in America if we just stopped hitting the easy button and started holding everybody from top to bottom accountable.
So let's tie this back to the beginning. You know, I said there's no magic, there's no decoder wheel, there's no free ride, right? So all this is going to take work and effort and energy. And no extremely wealthy person that I know got rich by doing anything other than hard work, period. Now, it got easier as they got along. But did it, or did it just look easier because they learned better solutions to problems, faster solutions to problems, more intense solutions to problems? People are not wealthy and shouldn't be punished because they figured it out and they worked their tail off to get there. Mm-hmm. You know, that age-old rhetoric of, tax the rich more. The rich aren't the problem. Mm-hmm. It's your inaction that's the problem.
Amen. Amen.
So I typically close with go make a damn difference, and I'll do that too. And I think you should go make a damn difference. I think everybody should go make a damn difference. But I've been working on this since yesterday morning, and I believe I've finally got a thought formalized or formatted here that makes some sense. And I'm going to share it here before I share it on social. The reward is down the passage we did not take, through the door that we did not open. The solution to this and all societal's problems is down the passage we did not take and through the door we did not open. You like that?
I love it. I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I'm just going to leave it right there. If you missed that, rewind that a couple times. All right, brother. Any final words besides that?
I appreciate your passion and your tenacity and bringing these things to light. And hopefully you appreciate that I try to narrow your focus to not what's in the news and not what's going on, but trying to really formalize some thoughts about solutions to these things. And hopefully you find value in that. But I do appreciate your passion to the issues at hand and you bringing them to me. So that way I don't choose to ignore them either.
Well, I think that's the point of why we do this show, right? Because everyone else is talking about it. Is in its perspective. What we just talked about is two people coming together having a conversation. You may not see eye to eye in some stuff, and one person may be more passionate than the other about stuff. But it's starting to create a solution. It gets to the process. We go ahead and for one more starfish. It affects one person on there. I really like what you said. I'm going to, what you said 6 months ago really hit home with me. I'm going to make some changes on that. Door handles lava, whatever, right?
That's crazy, right?
Right. I mean, this is so, this and this, and finding different jobs, and people that we've had on here, people taking state seats, and like sick and tired of watching what happens to their community. Like, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to get blasted, but I'm going to stand up and do that. So that's the premise behind the show. So it's, my thought is, and I want you to really go back and really listen to what Brent said in that passage that he wrote. But my thought when you said that is, all you people out there posting memes, stop posting memes and start posting solutions.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking for. We're not getting money off of this podcast, and I've stated this to us, and we're not better than anybody. We're not better than anybody else that's doing a podcast on there. I'm just saying we're not monetary stuff. Here's the stuff. We know that you're talking about it. I see it all the time on Facebook. Yeah, I get passionate about it because just like you, just like everybody else that sees this, we give an ish, right?
Yeah.
We care. We want to be better. We want everyone to be healthy. We want everyone to have good food choices. We want everyone to have a house. We want everyone to have a car. We want everyone to have a job. But posting memes and not solutions is not going to do ish. I promise you. All it is going to cause further divide because you guys think it's funny and you hide it and you throw bombs and do all that stuff. So stop doing that ish. I want to swear so bad, but I'm not going to do it.
I appreciate your passion, my brother.
So anyway, man, that, is Brent, what are you going to say?
Go make a damn difference.
Go make a damn difference. Guys, thank you for sticking with us for 55 episodes. Keep sharing that show. Let us know what your solution is in comments. Big thing that I just found out about while we're learning this podcast stuff, not only do we want you to subscribe, there is a little bell on that subscribe button. Hit that freaking bell, because when we do a new episode, instead of you like, oh, I didn't know this comes out, it will actually notify you that it's a new episode. So 55 episodes, we would not be here without you. We are not quitting. Share the show, subscribe to our channel, stay safe, but most of all, God bless, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care, guys.